Hello, viewers. We are Geeks Assembled, and I'm joined by Susan as usual. And today we are discussing a 1987 movie starring Schwarzenegger in the lead role. We are talking The Running Man. So this is a story of, oh, shall we say, media, reality TV
Mhm.
just overtaking everybody in the future. Well, we say the future. This is set. Well, it begins in 2017 and then goes roughly about 2 years after that. So you say 2019.
Mhm.
Um, and we are now in 2026. So we'll talk about that as we go along. Yes, the Running Man, a game of survival. Oh, there's Susan's. I'll show you mine then. There you go. So we'll go to Susan. Opening thoughts, Susan.
All right. Well, first of all, our governor. I when I lived in California, our Republican governor was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was a good guy to try to wrangle the economic uh, juggernaut that is California, and you know, he was he was a different kind of guy. Uh, Most of the Republicans that have been the governor of California at one point or another are somewhat successful in their roles there. But it takes a lot of the Democrats to restore the thing once it's gone kind of south. Anyway, all that to be said, Arnold Schwarzenegger's earlier career was quite interesting, and this movie was no exception. He was. It was sort of a. He was sort of a nothing kind of guy, but he was captured on camera running as a soldier, and he was running super fast. And they're like, we want that guy to be the and like Richard Dawson's character. Richard Dawson is in this, by the way. Richard Dawson, you know the guy who used to do. He used to get all the kisses in his TV show. What was it called? It was called Family Feud. Anyway, yeah, he was definitely different in that he had a lot of a lot of stuff that were going on with his sort of army group. Like he was supposed to do this kill. He didn't want to do the kill, so they framed him for it anyway. They did the kill, even though he was like knocked out. I mean, they first had to you know knock him out, steal the rudder from the helicopter that he was flying, and then tie him up or I don't know, maybe just anyway. So he was discovered and put into this reality show called The Running Man. And let me see. I can. It, it, it was poignant the way he had uh, three other different kinds of people with him. There was a nerdy guy. There was a Hispanic woman who was, you know, just a normal kind of lady who was also, wasn't she a reporter or something?
The Amber.
Yeah, Amber Mendez.
Hmm.
And then there was Laughlin, who was another one who was a friend of his, I think. Anyway, these people became his running mates. There was four people in this group that were being chased by these stalkers, is what they were called. And the stalkers were Fireball, Captain Freedom, Dynamo, and Buzzsaw. And Buzzsaw, had a saw. He was very much like the way Ash became, kind of attached to a saw. And Dynamo was a bit like the Emperor because he had all his lightning. And Captain Freedom was played by Jesse Ventura, another Republican governor, actually of the state of Minnesota. So this movie had a lot of governors in it. Anyway, sort of like an all-American hero type, and then Fireball had like a flamethrower, which was kind of cool. Especially since it sometimes looked like it was throwing different colors, flames. The flame was different colors. That was really an amazing special effect. It wasn't, these were all seemingly to be, regular special effects, like practical special effects. It's very cool, like that. It was right before they shifted. Anyway, the one of the people that like these old sort of heroes that they were connecting with was this guy named Mick, who, I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac. I mean, the heck was that? What the heck was that? That was so amazing. So, okay, this was in a way this was pretty meta because Schwarzenegger was bodybuilder, Jesse Ventura was wrestler, um, Body Ventura, he was wrestler. Mick Fleetwood was, and then there was like, well, Stevie was played by Frank Zappa's kid, Dweezil. The
Hmm.
heck? I mean, it was like rock stars, reality TV guys, like the wrestlers, and then, regular, everything was, all these people were meta, and then they went on from this movie to become governors of their states. So I guess, you can expect that Richard Dawson was, he had his reality show too. He had he had Family Feud. I don't know. It was just a bit meta before meta, before the whole meta reality kind of thing was being discussed as something that would be like real. It was very different, and it was dystopian as fuck. It was completely. Yeah, it reminded me of Vengeance on Varos. It was very much like the stuff with that we actually even like Syl. We were talking about Syl the other day on our podcast, and this was another moment that was very like kind of drawn in by something that went on with him. Anyway, like the trial of the Time Lord, like that whole thing. That was there was just so much going on here, and it was very bright and colorful, and I loved like they were wearing spandex uh, leotards, top, all the way down, kind of the way we used to wear for ski racing. A downhill suit with skin tight lycra spandex suit, and that's what they were wearing. They were wearing downhill suits, and yeah, there were. I mean, there were real people in here too. There was a guy named Sven Ole Thorsen who played a guy named Sven. There was Edward Bunker who was playing a guy named Lenny, but Lenny Eddie Bunker anyway. Um, Too weird, all of it. Legit, too weird, all of it. Too fun. Very bright colors, very good '80s soundtrack kind of thing. I think the soundtrack was by Harold Faltermeyer. He did the soundtrack to Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, yeah. Produced a lot of albums as well.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, all that to be said, it was fun to rewatch, and you can compare it to the one that came out last year. We might do the one that came out last year in sometime in the future, but you know, uh, they both have a place, and they're both a little different. So okay, all that to be said, interesting movie,
Mm.
and not quite sure why I chose it. I don't know.
You chose it, and right. Where to start? Did you know that Richard Dawson was British?
Um, I didn't. I don't know. He sometimes sounded that way on Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, he moved to America in the 1960s.
Oh,
But yeah, he's British. Um, yeah, the writer of this hated the movie. Um, it was completely different to his book. But there again, saying that, the writer hasn't liked many of his movie adaptations of his books anyway. Because Stephen King is just like that. Um, he wrote this under a pseudonym. I'm trying to find the name. It was Richard
Richard
Bachman
Bachman.
with Stephen King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, I didn't know that.
well, there you go. And
Jeez.
also, it was directed by Paul Michael Glazer, otherwise known as Starsky from Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, Starsky and Hutch. Yeah.
He directed it. Yeah, Stephen King didn't like this adaptation because it was totally different to the book. There was his hero was nothing like Schwarzenegger. His hero was small, sort of weedy character, wasn't a big, strong man. There was no neon lights, no colourful world, and I don't think there was even a game show involved.
Hmm.
So completely, as far as I remember reading, it's completely changed. Um, Stephen King did prefer the newer version from last year for some reason. I don't know why. Um, but this is more action orientated, and it's just a platform for Schwarzenegger to flex his muscles do his wisecracks and to say, "I'll be back again." I'll be back. Playing on that line again. Yeah. The one thing is, at the beginning, say this is what I don't like about movies where they put a date set in the year 2017, then we move forward to 2019 when they break out of the prison. Um, so it's 2019 because it dates the fashion, the dystopian environment is nothing like 2019 was. So it
No,
dates, you know what I mean? They
but
should have just, they
the
should have just,
it would 2019, 2020 kind
yeah,
of still kind of sucked
yeah,
because of
but
what was going on, but it was a different kind of suckage.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, if anything, movies shouldn't put years on setting so many years time. Shouldn't do that. Just put sometime in the future. That'd be a lot easier.
Uh huh.
Because now you think, oh, nothing like what that movie made out. But they did it with one. What other sticks in my mind is Predator 2. That was supposed to be set in the sometime in the 90s, and it was all neon, and it was all this, it was all. I think, yeah. And this is the same, with your fancy lycra and all this brightly coloured. It very 80s, which it was in 80s, 1987. But the 80s came through on the screen in this. um,
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
God.
Maria Conchita Alonso as Amber, who previously was Venezuela Miss World
Uh huh.
in the 70s, playing the female lead opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger. Um, then you've got your Fax Cotto, who, brilliant actor, said no longer with us.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
brilliant, brilliant actor. So we've mentioned Richard Dawson, who's famous for, as you say, Hogan's Heroes and his quiz show. Um, and then you've got Fireball, Jim Brown.
Uh huh.
He's another famous actor. You've mentioned Jesse Ventura. Then you had Erland Van Lith as Dynamo, as the electrically charged operatic singing stalker.
Yeah.
Um, who else did we have? We had Buzzsaw, as you mentioned, Gus Retrich, also
Zero.
Sub Zero, Professor Toru Tanaka with his ice hockey stick.
And I I was trying to remember if um was he known as Professor?
Professor, hold on. This is what it says here. Toro Tanaka, Professor Toro Tanaka. Oh, right. Have a look. Charles J. Kalani Jr. That's his real name, known by the ring names. He was an American professional wrestler, professional boxer, and martial arts and actor.
Okay.
It was his stage name, shall we say?
Okay.
But yeah, I like this movie. With all its faults because of it being dated and stuff like that. Uh, for me, this is one of the movies. Schwarzenegger is height of his career, sort of thing. He he embraced all the action movies he could get hold of just to piss Stallone off. Because
Yeah.
they were very rivals at that point. And I think Stallone did. No, Stallone Schwarzenegger came out on top of all the action movies of the 80s. Um, because Stallone did just the Rockies and the
Right,
first.
but he was finding a way through it because I mean he was willing to do these kind of movies
Yeah.
too.
Mm.
you know, things where he'd have to wear like a lycra suit and, you know,
And some were quite figure hugging as well, wasn't they?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for what it is, it's one of these movies where you take your brain out, leave that at the door, put your feet up, and watch the TV. You don't need a high IQ to watch this movie.
no,
Um, all it is, it's an all-out action adventure, violent, of course. There is some blood here and there, garroting and you know,
yeah.
electrocution. Um, but it's all about survival. I mean, it makes me want to
I
go.
thought the Sub Zero needed more things other than just a really sharp hockey stick. I mean, they could have done so much more. He could have done so much more damage with more tools other than just his hockey stick.
Yeah, could have. But I suppose they had to fit everybody in because there was quite a few stalkers there, wasn't there?
Yeah, all right, it's true.
So
Yeah,
his gimmick was Sub Zero because he was on the ice.
yeah.
Um,
And
and
because was he was a sizable dude.
I mean, it is for what the movie is. Take away the action, the adventure. It's a dig at
Yep.
the media's control over what the people see and what they give the people.
Yeah.
Um,
And
that's
then
what it comes
and
down to.
for what'd you say it was Hutch or Starsky?
Starsky.
Okay, well, yeah, for it to be actually directed by Starsky and having all that kind of meta thing happening, it was that the dig was legit. It was like pulling out the icky, the evil by the root, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really I there was there were cringy moments, especially with like the old ladies who were baying for blood. That was something to behold.
But that's sort of what we have these days now on our TVs. Is this sort of crap? This show the Running Man show was crap, and this is what we get nowadays shown through our TV screens. It's just total
I'm a
reality,
celebrity. Get me out of here.
total reality crap. And you get the audience baying for more, whoop 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 and all that, the gladiators and stuff like that. It's
Oh.
a lot of crap. And
Don't I think that the gamesmanship is I liked how they said that that we have been sort of evolving. In one of the special features was a story about the gamesmanship, and we've gone from a lot of these gladiator things into things where we are looking at you know competitions that are trying to pit ourselves against nature. It's more man against nature than man against man kind of thing. I don't know. But
I
that's
just,
just me trying to figure it out. But I did, then again, you've got the romance ones, which none of the, to me sometimes seem more like horror stories than this stuff, because people get really invested. These people who are on the show get invested, and there's no guarding their hearts, and they just get stomped on. It's That's hard for me to watch. little harder than people playing a rough and tumble gladiator game. I don't know, but that's just me.
There was also certain things. What, as you mentioned at the beginning, he was given the orders to fire on the crowd below in the streets. He wouldn't do it, so they framed him for doing it.
For
So
doing
he,
it.
so if he had done it, if he had obeyed the orders, would they have framed him still?
No, they would. It wouldn't have.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have chosen him. He wouldn't have had to run.
Yeah.
There would have been no. He would have been just sort of isolated and insulated by the system. I mean, if you capitulate too easy, you know, you don't ever get those. He wouldn't have ever had to show off his athletic prowess,
I
right?
mean, yeah. And then there's the other thing when I was watching it, rewatching again.
Yeah,
The cameras are everywhere, are they?
yeah,
So when they discovered those three bodies of the
yeah,
previous year's winners,
yeah.
the audience would have seen that straight away. But they didn't. They only saw that when the rebels had got control of the broadcasting and started playing the video.
And started playing. Yeah, right.
So that didn't. I thought, well, hold on a minute. The saw Fireball get killed in the explosion, so they must have seen the corpses in the locker rooms. But it came as a shock to them when I thought, oh, that's a bit of bad
Storytelling.
storytelling. And then the other one was when Killian was put into the sled down the turbo chutes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Why did they have a chute going there straight into a wall? Why did that? Why did that chute come out?
Oh, because they didn't have the net up.
But what? But
They
then why would
always
that?
had the net up, and so the net would catch them right before they hit the wall.
But there was there was no sign of that's what I mean. Why wasn't there a net there?
Because it had been used earlier. I
Oh,
don't know.
you've got.
They only had one fucking net. I don't know.
I was thinking, well, why has it? Why has he gone through? I don't know. I don't know anyway. But I enjoyed it though. It's as you say, you don't need to be a high IQ to enjoy this type of movie.
Right.
But as I say, it also with the soundtrack by Harold Faltermeyer, it did date it as well because it's very, very 80s.
Yeah, it's not. You can't really push it into
It's not,
the
it's
2000.
not, it's not 2019 type of music.
No.
But what can we do about that? So
He
it's
was,
very,
he was, Faltermeyer was so epic, you know?
yeah. I mean, you mentioned he did the Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, and I
Right.
know I know in 1990 he produced the Pet Shop Boys album Behavior, and
Oh, nice.
he's done quite a lot of things. Um, but yeah, all in all, enjoyable movie. So, Susan, anything else before we go to final say and score?
No, it's all right. We can move ahead if you want.
Go on then. Go on then.
All right. Well, I've enjoyed it. The I mean, we've we've actually been reviewing quite a few of these dystopian sort of stories.
Yeah.
This one happens to have a date attached to it, much like Blade Runner did. I think that maybe that was the reason for the date. I don't know, but the other part of this story was that the reality TV thing was gonna explode, and eventually it's gonna get a little dystopian because I think that Syl eventually shows up and starts running things. I don't know. You just gotta wait around and see, but we yeah, there was some glitchy storytelling, I guess, but all in all, it was fun, and I liked how they put like those four people together, like the white guy who was heroic with the black guy who was heroic with the Hispanic woman who was heroic with the nerdy guy who was heroic, and they all had to try to be heroic for each other and try to be heroic for the audience, but also, you know, also as they won, you could see the audience was turning around and actually supporting them. So that's the evolution, I think. Okay, so all of that to be said, I think that the energy of this movie was great, and you know we watched a film noir this week as well, and so we needed something with a little more energy to round out this weekend's podcast. So, and the fact that two of the people in this movie became governors, and you know, both states are always in the news just for horrible reasons recently. I will give this. I'll give this eight. Eight of the deadly hockey sticks out of eight. I guess I'd be one of the Sub-Zero fans.
Deadly pucks he had. Um, yeah, it's enjoyable, but as I say, it's very, very dated. If you're going to do a futuristic movie, never ever date it. Never ever date it. Learn by other movies' mistakes. Just don't put a date. Just say in the far distant future. It'll be a lot easier. As George Lucas did.
Yep.
So for me, I'm going to give this 8.5 cans of Cadbury Cola.
Cadbury Cola.
That's our sponsor
Oh,
for this.
and thank you, Lee, for reminding us that all these good actors are British.
Well, Schwarzenegger's not British.
No, but I mean, Richard Dawson was. He was in Hogan's Heroes, and he was in this as an actor, and he did do his reality show, but you know,
There again, Schwarzenegger did live in England when he came from Austria. Lived in England for quite a few years before he went to America.
okay, you can claim him too. Jeez.
So yeah, that's our review of The Running Man. Did you like it, or did you hate it like Stephen King hated it? Um, so please leave a comment below on this video. If let us know what you thought of the movie. Even comment and let us know if you let us put a suggestion what we could do. For other casts. Also, leave a message on this video or any of our videos what you come across if you want to join us. 18 plus, please. All you need is a camera, microphone, and you're on. It's simple as that. I mean, me and Susan have been doing this for nearly 10 years, a few more months, and it'll be 10 years. And have we got any awards? No. Have we? Hell. We deserve awards for doing this week in, week out. But no,
Yep.
we need a knighthood and a damehood.
Sure.
An honorary damehood because
I'm from the colonies. I'm an ungrateful colonist.
and So please, yeah, let us know you want to be on. We need some more company. But please remember, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell notification, and you'll get notified every time we put up a video. So that's it, Susan, isn't it?
Yep.
Cool. So we're going to go off now to enjoy a really cold can of Cadbury Cola. We're getting some fees for advertising. Does it exist? No, it doesn't, does it? We'll have to get some placements in our videos sometime.
Yep.
So until next time, guys, please be safe out there. Bye for now.